The night sky tonight and on any clear night offers an ever-changing display of fascinating objects you can see, from stars and constellations to bright planets, often the moon, and sometimes special events like meteor showers. Observing the night sky can be done with no special equipment, although a sky map can be very useful, and a good beginner telescope or binoculars will enhance some experiences and bring some otherwise invisible objects into view. You can also use astronomy accessories to make your observing easier, and use our satellite tracker page powered by n2yo.com to find out when to see the International Space Station and other satellites. Below, find out what's up in the night sky tonight, planets visible now, moon phases, observing highlights this month, plus other resources, sky watching terms, night sky observing tips, and further reading. The night sky is more than just the moon and stars, if you know when and where to look. Credit CarlTateSpace.com. Monthly skywatching information is provided to Space.com by Chris Bond of Starry Night Education, the leader in space science curriculum solutions. Follow Starry Night on Twitter at StarryNightEdu. Editor's note: if you have an amazing skywatching photo you'd like to share for a possible story or image gallery, please contact Managing Editor Tariq Malik at Spaciphotos at Space.com. Saturday, November 4th at 1:23 a.m. EDT. Full frost beaver moon. A November full moon, traditionally known as the beaver moon or frost moon, always shines in or near the stars of Taurus and Aries. Since it's opposite the sun on this day of the lunar month, it rises at sunset and sets at sunrise. Sunday, November 5th, early evening, moon occults Aldebaran. On the evening of Sunday, November 5th, the nearly full moon will occult the naked eye star Aldebaran for observers in North America except the West Coast, Northern Europe, and Northwestern Asia. At approximately 8 p.m. the moon's lit leading limb will cover Aldebaran. The star will emerge from the opposite dark limb about 9 p.m. Times vary by region. Friday, November 10th at 3:36 p.m. Last quarter moon. Last quarter moons rise around midnight and remain visible in the southern sky during morning daylight. At this phase, the moon is illuminated on the eastern side, towards the pre-dawn sun. At last quarter, the moon is positioned ahead of the Earth in our trip around the sun. About 3.5 hours later, Earth will occupy that same location in space. After last quarter, the waning moon Wane traverses the last quarter of its orbit around the Earth, on the way to new moon. Saturday, November 11th, pre-dawn, moon meets Regulus in the southern pre-dawn sky. On Saturday, November 11th, the last quarter moon will appear to the upper right of the bright star Regulus. For observers in southwestern North America and Central America, the moon will occult the star in daylight during the late morning. Observers in Japan and Eastern Asia will see the event under a dark sky in the wee hours of November 12th. Times and durations vary by region. Sunday, November 12th, pre-dawn, northern Taurid meteor shower peak. The northern Taurids run from October 19th to December 10th annually. The weak shower, with only 5 meteors per hour at the peak, is derived from material left by the passage of periodic comet Chupanq. The debris, larger than average grains, often produce colorful fireballs. Watch on Saturday evening, before the last quarter moon rises. Monday, November 13th, before sunrise, Venus kisses Jupiter between 5:30 a.m. local time and sunrise on Monday, November 13th. Look very low in the eastern sky to see Venus positioned only 0.25 degrees to the left of Jupiter. The two planets will easily fit together in the field of view of a backyard telescope. Be sure to point telescopes away before the sun rises below them. Tuesday, November 14th, pre-dawn, old moon passes Mars in the eastern pre-dawn sky. On the morning of Tuesday, November 14th, the old crescent moon will sit less than 7 degrees above dim reddish Mars. The double star Porrima will be visible between them. The following morning, the moon will shift to sit 6 degrees to the lower left of Mars. Thursday, November 16th, before sunrise, old moon near Jupiter and Venus for an hour before sunrise. On the morning of Thursday, November 16th, look for the very old crescent moon sitting 5 degrees above Jupiter, with bright Venus appearing a few degrees lower. The following morning, the moon will drop to sit about 4.5 degrees to the lower left of Venus. Saturday, November 18th, pre-dawn Leonid meteor shower peak. The annual Leonid meteor shower, derived from material left by repeated passages of periodic comet 55 Tempel-Tettel, runs from November 5th to December 3rd. At the peak before dawn on November 18th, expect to see about 15 meteors per hour, many with persistent trains. A new moon will provide a dark sky for meteor watchers. Saturday, November 18th at 6:42 a.m. New moon. When new, the moon is traveling between the Earth and the Sun. Sunlight is only reaching the side of the moon that is turned away from us, and the moon is in the same region of the sky where the Sun is, so it cannot be seen. A day or two after new moon, look low above the western horizon after sunset for the slender sliver of the waxing crescent moon. Sunday, November 19th after sunset, Mercury near the moon for an hour after sunset on Sunday, November 19th. Look low in the western sky for the young crescent moon sitting 8.5 degrees to the right of Mercury, both objects embedded in the twilight's glow. Monday, November 20th, early evening, Saturn near the crescent moon in the southwestern early evening sky on Monday, November 20th. The young crescent moon will be visible only 2.5 degrees to the upper right of yellowish Saturn, making a lovely sight in binoculars. Thursday, November 23rd, early evening, Mercury at greatest eastern elongation on the evening of Thursday, November 23rd. Mercury will reach its widest separation east of the Sun. Viewed in a telescope inset, the planet will exhibit a waning gibbous phase. Sunday, November 26th, 12:03 p.m. Est first quarter moon at first quarter. The relative positions of the Earth, Sun, and Moon cause us to see the moon half illuminated on the western right-hand side. First quarter moons rise around noon and set around midnight, so they are visible starting in the afternoon hours. The term quarter moon refers not to its shape, but the fact that our natural satellite has now completely the first quarter of its orbit around Earth since the last new moon. Tuesday, November 28th after sunset, Mercury meets Saturn. Look very low in the western sky for about half an hour after sunset on Tuesday, November 28th to see Mercury sitting 3 degrees to the lower left of Saturn. During November, Mercury delivers a poor evening apparition for observers in mid-northern latitudes worldwide, never climbing very high in the sky due to its position below an already shallow evening ecliptic. Viewed through a telescope during November, Mercury's disk will nearly double in diameter and reduce in phase from almost full to less than half illuminated. It is at peak visibility after reaching its greatest angle east of the Sun on November 23rd. For an hour after sunset on Sunday, November 19th, look low in the western sky for the young crescent moon sitting 8.5 degrees to the right of Mercury. In the last week of the month, Mercury passes a few degrees below Saturn. Extremely bright Venus remains visible in the eastern pre-dawn sky during November, but drops steadily lower as it swings sunwards, passing a few degrees to the left of the bright star Spica on November 23rd. Throughout the month, Venus exhibits a nearly full phase. On the mornings surrounding Monday, November 13th, Venus will pass very close to Jupiter. At only 0.25 degrees apart at closest approach, the two planets will fit within the field of view of a backyard telescope's eyepiece. Before sunrise on November 17th, the old crescent moon will land 4 degrees to the left of Venus. During November, Mars, moving prograde through Virgo, climbs away from the Sun in the eastern pre-dawn sky. Still quite small and dim, the red planet will brighten slightly as it slowly decreases its distance from Earth. On November 14th and 15th, the waning crescent moon will pass to the left of Mars. Fresh from solar conjunction, Jupiter is visible in the pre-dawn eastern sky in November, moving prograde from Virgo into Libra on November 15th. During mornings in mid-month, Jupiter will be very close to Venus, reaching a minimum separation of 0.25 degrees on Monday, November 13th. At that time, the two planets will fit together within the field of view of a backyard telescope's eyepiece. The waning crescent moon hops over Jupiter on November 16-17. Saturn spends November as a naked eye object in the southwestern evening sky. It sets about 8:30 p.m. local time on the one stand 5:45 p.m. by month end, when it has entered the evening twilight. On November 18th, Saturn departs the stars of southern Ophiuchus for Sagittarius, where it will remain until early 2020. In early evening on Monday, November 20th, the young crescent moon will be situated only 2.5 degrees to the upper right of Saturn, making a lovely sight in binoculars. During November, Uranus is well placed for all-night observing as it moves retrograde westwards between the two chains of stars that link the fishes of Pisces. At visual magnitude 5.7, Uranus is bright enough to observe in binoculars, sometimes visible even to naked eyes under dark skies. The naked eye star Omicron Piscium, located about 2.5 degrees to the planet's lower left, will aid you in finding the blue-green planet. During November, tiny blue Neptune is observable using a telescope until the middle of the night. Among the stars of Aquarius all month, it moves retrograde westwards until November 22nd, when it resumes regular prograde motion. The naked eye star Hydor, located only 0.5 degrees above the planet, will aid you in finding it. In late October, the major asteroid 2 Pallas reached opposition, when it was closest to Earth and brightest for this year. In November, it is visible in a backyard telescope as it moves southwestward through the stars of Eridanus towards Fornix, which is low in the southern sky. Gibbous used to describe a planet or moon that is more than 50% illuminated. Asterism: a noteworthy or striking pattern of stars within a larger constellation. Degrees measuring the sky. The sky is 360 degrees all the way around, which means roughly 180 degrees from horizon to horizon. It's easy to measure distances between objects. Your fist on an outstretched arm covers about 10 degrees of sky, while a finger covers about 1 degree. Visual magnitude. This is the astronomer's scale for measuring the brightness of objects in the sky. The dimmest object visible in the night sky under perfectly dark conditions is about magnitude 6.5. Brighter stars are magnitude 2 or 1. The brightest objects get negative numbers. Venus can be as bright as magnitude -4.9. The full moon is -12.7 and the sun is -26.8. Terminator: the boundary on the moon between sunlight and shadow. Zenith: the point in the sky directly overhead. Adjust to the dark if you wish to observe faint objects, such as meteors or dim stars. Give your eyes at least 15 minutes to adjust to the darkness. Light pollution. Even from a big city, one can see the moon, a handful of bright stars and sometimes the brightest planets. But to fully enjoy the heavens, especially a meteor shower, the constellations, or to see the amazing swath across the sky that represents our view toward the center of the Milky Way galaxy, rural areas are best for night sky viewing. If you're stuck in a city or suburban area, a building can be used to block ambient light or moonlight to help reveal fainter objects. If you're in the suburbs, simply turning off outdoor lights can help. Prepare for skywatching. If you plan to be out for more than a few minutes, and it's not a warm summer evening, dress warmer than you think necessary. An hour of observing a winter meteor shower can chill you to the bone. A blanket or a lounge chair will prove much more comfortable than standing or sitting in a chair and craning your neck to see overhead. Daytime skywatching. When Venus is visible, that is, not in front of or behind the sun, it can often be spotted during the day. But you'll need to know where to look. A sky map is helpful. When the sun has large sunspots, they can be seen without a telescope. However, it's unsafe to look at the sun without protective eyewear. See our video on how to safely observe the sun, or our safe sun watching infographic. Moon phases. How the lunar cycle works, from full moon to new moon. Also find out when is the next full moon. Constellations. The history of the zodiac constellations and their place in night sky observing. Lunar eclipses. How they work, plus find out when's the next lunar eclipse. Solar eclipses. How they work, the types, and when the next one occurs.